So you're welcome. Jube, you are right on screen. Please go ahead. Thank you.
All right. Welcome to the second day of the TIP conference. And if you're with us yesterday, you would have seen that there was great value that was given. And today is no different. We started off today. And right now, we would be listening to Mr. Stevan. But before we do that, let's listen to some testimonials from people who have listened to the conference before and got great value for it. So let's see the testimonials from people who listened to the conference before and got great value from it.
All right, so before that, we're going to have the inner circle review. Is coming up live.
Our names
yes,
are Engineer
please
and
stay
Mrs. Smart Peter Sevreke. Our journey so far in Inner Circle. It all started last year, 2020, by second half of the year, when my wife introduced me to the group. Inner Circle is the arm of the Intentional Parent Academy, founded by Coach Wendy Ologe. Here, parents are gathered to learn parenting styles and skills through daily connection tools. Views on parenting are shared by other parents as well. Books on parenting read and reviewed on monthly basis. Inner Circle has taught us that parenting is about us, the parents, and not the children. We've learned new parenting trend and unlearn what we used to know as parenting pattern, which is not working for the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. So I am urging you, and I mean you that is watching now, to come. Let's join hands together for the good of our children and society at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much. As we can see, people are getting value and we are changing the narrative. As fathers, we are part of parents who are supposed to raise our children. Although we live in a very complex world now, we are busy, everybody's busy trying to make ends meet, trying to raise a family. And because of that, sometimes we leave the role to the mothers. But fathers are also part of parents. So now we want to listen to a fatherhood coach from the US, Stevan Lynn, discuss with us fathers are parents too. Let us listen as he discusses this with us.
Stevan Lynn. Stevan Lynn, also known as Coach, is a dedicated father of 3 amazing children, retired American football coach, award-winning television producer, and international responsible fatherhood advocate. From humble beginnings as a community organizer in the infamous Cabrini Greenhousing Project of Chicago, Coach Lynn has spent the better part of over 25 years encouraging fathers to embrace the challenges that comes with the never-ending duties associated with being a responsible father. Through multiple innovative training mediums such as the award-winning television program Dare to Dream, A Father's Guide to Success, as well as creating the Fatherhood Training Center located in the heart of New York City, to establishing the Fatherhood Emergency Response Series and Caribbean Fatherhood Network, Coach Lynn has successfully changed the priorities and practices of countless fathers and father figures around the world, with the team motto rooted in the fact fatherhood is deeds, not words. Managing several affiliate fatherhood programs across the Caribbean, Coach Lynn's Driven Dads has established itself as the premier responsible fatherhood training and advocacy firm, providing direction in the development, implementation, facilitation, and promotion of comprehensive initiatives, including its signature young male mentorship training, the Future Fathers Club. Taking on the role of a responsible father dedicated to ensuring that his children have opportunities and strength in making their dreams come true requires faith, strength, sacrifice, patience, commitment, and unconditional love. These are the keys to success, says Coach Lynn. Ladies and gentlemen, Stevan Lynn.
Good morning. Wow, what an introduction. I'm so honored. And I want to thank Tip and the conference coordinators for this incredible opportunity to be able to speak to the audience, our team, if you will, about something that we're very passionate about, as you can tell, and that's fatherhood, the joys and pains of fatherhood. As you saw in the intro, I am Coach Lynn. I have the wonderful opportunity of being the CEO and founder of Deeds Driven Dads, which is an international fatherhood advocacy and training firm, as well as we recently, during COVID, established the Caribbean Fatherhood Coalition, a real association of fatherhood programs and men's ministries and mentorships throughout the Caribbean, as well as we have a host of other items that we work on. The television show here in the United States, Dare to Dream, A Father's Guide to Success. And it's all centered around one thing and one thing only: fathers. All of us know far too well a father is part and parcel in making a child. His DNA is in there all the way through. However, as our esteemed host mentioned, oftentimes we let the mother take the load. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, as well as I'm going to give you, once again, the keys to success. And we're going to talk about some of the myths, the misinformation, and the misguided steps fathers have been taking for a little while, which has caused some chaos in the communities. And we're going to stop that right now today. Fatherhood. Wow, what a topic, huh? How did we get into that? Something so important, something so critical in the circle of life, yet oftentimes overlooked or looked at as a second thought. Oh, I'm the father. What does that mean to you? Does that give you any joy? Does that give you any power? So today we're going to talk about, and particularly in the beginning, what fatherhood is, and then we'll get into a little bit more about how you conduct yourself as a responsible father. We're going to really look at some day-to-day operations, because it is a day-to-day operation for a lifetime. All right, so let's begin. First and foremost, I am Coach Lynn, as I told you before, so I'm going to be talking to you in a couple of fashions. One, from a sports realm. I'm a retired football coach, American football coach. So I'm used to coaching men for many, many years. So I'm going to be talking to you using some terminology from sports, because we found over these many years some of the examples and the highlights really mesh with fatherhood. First and foremost, faith. Fatherhood is about faith. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your children's dreams to the ninth level, if you will, because it is your belief, your faith, that is going to get you through the many storms of life that are going to come, not only in your life, but in your children's life. We all know that now. No one has the perfect life where there's nothing that goes wrong, there's no chaos. We have not met anyone yet, not even our Savior. However, when a father is involved, when a father has that strong faith, he believes, even in the midst of a storm, that we're going to make it through. His leadership, his belief transcends to his children, if no one else. And in many ways, that should be his focus anyway, his bloodline. Faith, believing in yourself, particularly when times are down. We need you to start elevating your faith, fathers, particularly in these hard times of COVID spreading worldwide, famine, you name it, all of the harsh ills of life. The father has to be strong. He must have faith in himself. He must have faith that God will see him through, that he is here for a purpose, if nothing else, to keep a legacy going, to perpetuate mankind through his bloodline. Next, right after faith, and appropriately so, sacrifice. This is where we seem to be fumbling the ball, if you will, for many years, with fathers not understanding what we're talking about when we say sacrifice. Sacrificing for your children is what we do. It's non-negotiable, and the benefits from that are never ending, but it must be done. Sacrificing in particular the way that you think, the way that your attitude towards being a father, your attitude towards being a responsible parent. You're understanding now that this is what you're calling. We affectionately call it our assignment. You understand that those who are strong in the faith understand you get your assignment. Well, you got your assignment when you had children. Little did you know. So now you're going to have to do some sacrificing. And I mean for a little while, not just 1 or 2 times. This is going to be part and parcel of your life. You sacrifice the I can'ts. I can't do this. I can't do that. That's no longer in your repertoire. Definitely, you never want to hear that coming out of your children's mouth of what they cannot do. But it first has to come from yours. That's a sacrifice for you, because I know many of you kind of got used to that. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, it's too late. I don't know where you got that, but that can be furthest from the truth. It's never too late. You're still here, so you still have a shot, particularly at reaching for those dreams. Sacrifice means you're going to have to be doing daily things that are the benefit of others before supposedly it's the benefit of you. You understand? You're going to sacrifice your time, your effort, your consciousness, your just love, all those wonderful things. You are going to sacrifice and put it on the first thing on your plate, because it is for your children. That is your legacy. That is your blood. That's what you do. You sacrifice for them. As the host said earlier, mothers far too often are given that role. You understand? The mother makes all the sacrifice. She makes the breakfast for them. She makes sure that they eat on a daily basis. She makes sure that they're clean. She makes sure that they're up and going to school. She makes sure that they're doing their assignments. All of those things have unfortunately fallen on the mother for some time. And it's caused a problem because that is the father's role. And we're going to talk about roles later in the practice. And this is the practice. You understand that? Practice makes what? I didn't hear you. Practice makes what? That's right. Practice makes perfect, particularly in fatherhood. So sacrifice is the next one. All right? Faith, sacrifice. Let's go on to the third. Are you ready? What do you think it is? Faith, sacrifice, commitment. You've got to be committed to this. You understand? You've got to be committed like never before. This is what you do as a father. You are a parent first. You're not a craftsman. You're not an artist. You're not all these other things that seem to take precedence in life above and beyond being a parent. That's nothing to be ashamed of, nor nothing to put in second place. It's a job like no other, but you have to have the commitment. You have to want this, you see, because it's far too easy sometimes to just let it go if you're not committed to it. It's far too easy to not make it to your daughter's recital or not make it to your son's soccer game. It's far too easy for you not to be committed and make sure that they eat. It's far too easy not to be committed and make sure that their clothes are clean or that they're up in time to go to school and that they're attentive in school. It takes that commitment. So it's most needed in our sequence of success. Next, patience. Oh my goodness, patience. Raise your hand if you got some patience. I have some. I just got it recently. However, you've got to have that patience, dads. We cannot move forward if you're trying to get everything right now. It's not going to happen that way. You already know that in your own life. But now that you have children, you're going to have the patience of Job, always keeping an even keel. I didn't say you don't get angry. I didn't say that you don't get disappointed. I said that you have patience. It will work itself out with your children because you've had the faith. You've had the sacrifice. You've had the commitment. Now you want to show patience, as well as you need to start showing patience in your own life. You see, not so quick to get angry, not so quick to, if ever, raise your hand, not so quick to use negative language or be ready to toss them out. I don't want to have anything to do with you because they don't seem to be going along your path, your idea of their life. So you just have patience with your children. And watch this, because their father has patience, as our Heavenly Father does with us, does he not? Your children will acquire that same characteristics. your children will start having patience. They won't get so upset and they won't be ready to quit just because things aren't going their way, because they see their father never quits. He's always on top of it with his patience. Last but not least, and some would say the glue for the whole kit and caboodle, is unconditional love. Oh my goodness, unconditional love. That is the binding tie. And once again, doesn't our Heavenly Father have unconditional love for us? We all make mistakes. Our children too. Nobody knows it all. Nobody truly knows the path before them. And we all oftentimes veer off the path of life. But you 100% have to have unconditional love for them. Your children have to feel that my father, if no one else, will love me through my mistakes. When I fall, my father will be there to pick me back up. In fact, my father had so much faith, so much commitment, so much patience, so much all of the wonderful things that are needed, that his unconditional love shone through way before I fell. I already knew he was coming back with me. That's why I took the leap. And that's what we want our children to do, be professional leapers of faith. And the only way they can do that is if their father is there to support them with that unconditional love. I'm going to love you no matter what comes what may. All righty? So those are our 5 keys. Let's say them once again. Faith, sacrifice, commitment, patience, unconditional love. Those are the keys. They are non-negotiable. And you watch this one. They all have to be turned at the same time to unlock the door of life. You can't just have a lot of faith, but you have no sacrifice. You cannot have a commitment. Coach, I'm committed to my kids. Yes, but you show them unconditional love. They feel that you'll turn your back in a minute if they do not do your way. You see? So those 5 keys must be all turned for the doors to unlock, not only for you, but most importantly, for your children. All right? So those are the 5 keys. Once we understand that, now we can get into really what parenting is, and from a father's point of view. And it's just so befitting that the topic of this is fathers are parents too. The fact that we have to say that means there seems to be a problem. Why is that now already obvious? That we have to state, oh, fathers are parents too. Isn't that already known? Maybe not. Let's see why not. When people look at parenting, they're looking at once again, some of the keys. One in particular, is this your focus? Is this your life? You can tell fairly quickly parents that they're all about their children. All of us know them. It's almost always the topic of their conversation. When you ask them what are they doing or what's going on in their life, 2 or 3 or maybe all of the things they're talking about are centered around their children. Oh, I have to pick up my son, or my son is doing this, particularly as they get older, and you're pushing them. They're going to do some great things. All of us know that a sharp parent, a parent that's on top of his game, is always thinking in the future for their children. Not just what are we doing today, but I'm already planning for my child's future, the things that I can control. I can make sure that my child goes to school every day. You understand? They're fresh and clean. And when they go to school, they have the right frame of mind because I started that early in the morning. You can tell that. You can tell whose parents are truly involved in that. You can tell which parents are involved in their children, not getting tied up with the streets. You all understand the streets, whether you're in Nigeria, New York, Antigua, Spain, the streets is still there. And he still has his nasty game on trying to get our children, trying to convert them to him. So you can tell the parents who are really on top of that. They know where their children are. They know their children's friends. They know their first names and do things with them, their children's friends. They know their children's friends' parents. Oh, let me meet so-and-so's mother. Who is so-and-so's father? You see, these are the things that they just are a part of life as a parent, because I want to know who my children are around. I want to know the type of environment outside of the home they're involved in, because as you know, those negative influences and the streets, once again, It's constantly bombarding them with things, misinformation, garbage. So these are the just a few of the characteristics of a parent. The question is, from a father's point of view, are you taking care of any of those? Do you know all your children's friends? Do you do anything with them? When you do things with your children, do you invite their what they call the BFFs, their best friends forever? Hmm? Do you invite them with you? Because trust me when I tell you, their BFF is soon going to be your BFF slash information station, because they see that you're a wonderful father. And they're going to be sometimes when you and your child are going at it, and you're going to go at it, they're going to be the voice of reason saying, listen to your father. Your father loves you. What he's saying is right. Their best friend. So it's important that you and them get a tight bond. And quite often, they might not even have a father in their life. So you're going to now become that father figure for more than just them. Hmm? Also, are you seriously involved in the child's education, your child's education? That is one of the cornerstones. We only have a couple of corners of fatherhood, making sure that my child has the best education possible. I don't care if we're dirt poor, and we are dirt poor. However, my child does not feel that. And that has nothing to do with them becoming a doctor or architect or artist or a singer or a fisherman, whatever their dream may be. I supported them. I'm going to make sure that they get the best education possible, which means you and the teacher, as they're moving along, are going to be bestest buddy. That's going to be your BFF every year, because they're helping you. They're helping mold the best thing that ever happened to you. So your education is critical, and parental involvement, particularly from a father's point of view. And let's stay on that, if you will. You know, coach runs a tight practice. I'm going to have you do multiple things during this practice. Education is really a key for us. In particular, making sure that your child can dream. A father's role in education is pushing them, letting them see new things, telling them to try new things. You are not putting them in a box or saying, oh, your grandfather was this, or your father was that, or your great grandfather was this, therefore you need to be that. We are no longer in that age. A father, a responsible father, a loving father, teaches his children, you can be anything that your heart desires and your will permits, you can do. And when a father does that, oh my goodness, guess what? They can do anything, and that's a fact. So education is very important. If we do nothing else, we make sure that my child gets a good education. Next, making sure that your child has a roof over their head, something to eat, shoes on their feet. These are the basics of fatherhood, one of the other cornerstones. We didn't say they have to have immaculate mansions and all that while they're growing up, but you have to make sure that they have a roof over their head. You have to make sure, father, that they live in a safe environment, that they don't fear for their life or any of those crazy things that many of our children are going through. You have to make sure that they are sustained. They have to eat. No one can live without food. And it's not the mother's responsibility to have to go find the food, prepare the food, and feed them while you do nothing. So that's critical. Last but not least on that, making sure that they have shoes on their feet. And that goes more than just the shoes. That's just kind of a symbol. But you have to make sure that they have properly clothed. They don't have to have a vast wardrobe, but there's no reason why you didn't do what was necessary. You didn't sacrifice to make sure that your children at least have some proper attire, at least that they have some books, or they're washing their face, or they're clean, or they're going to the doctor. Those are the things that a father must do in order for him to really be looked at as a real parent. Fathers are parents too. You want that role? Work comes with that. It just doesn't befit you because you say, I'm a parent, but you have done nothing to earn that. So you do these things, and people are going to start looking at you in the light of, wow, he's a wonderful, wonderful father. That's all he talks about is his kids. All right. So let's go on to the next, if you will. We're almost there. Hold on tight. and we'll answer some questions a little later. And that's some misinformation that some of our fathers have in their heads, passed down probably from their fathers who got it from their fathers, and what a father's role is, and what does he do? What does he add to the family? How is he the king of his castle? Huh? So let's talk about that one. First and foremost, the father's role. A father's role, as taught to us by our Heavenly Father, is that he can do anything. He can do all things. We know that verse. Fathers, it is not the mother's role to be the nurturer. It is not the mother's role only to make sure that the house is up to par. It's not the mother's role only to make sure that every day the kids have something to eat and that they're doing well. In fact, I'm here to say that's your role. If you have a wonderful mate, a wife, a children's mother who assists you in that, we applaud you. Congratulations. That's fantastic. However, you should be able to do all those things yourself. It should not just be on her to manage the household, if you will, and the children. That's not her job. In fact, that's your job. Many of us have heard this statement for years. I've heard it come from fathers straight out of their mouth recently. I'm the king of my castle. Well, what kind of king are you? Huh? You just sit on the throne where all your subjects do everything for you? Or are you the type of king that you are active? You are the type of king that goes right out there and works with them. You help build your kingdom. You help sustain your kingdom. That's the type of king you are trying to be. And it requires all of the things that I said earlier, the 5 keys. I hope you remember them. We're going to go over them later in the practice. But it's critical before you start making that statement or even viewing yourself in that realm of I'm the leader of this household. I'm the master. Understand what that means. That's through deeds, not words. Our motto, deeds, not words. Lastly on this, being a responsible father means that you're going to have to get rid of, as I said before, the disbeliefs, the fears that you have in you. You're now going to have to be a shining jewel in your family, a beacon of light, positivity like never before. You always have something positive to say. You rarely get in fights and arguments, particularly with the child's mother, because you're so positive. You're always thinking things are going to work out. You're always looking to the future, planning for the future, saying positive things. Oh, I can't wait till you go to college, or I can't wait till you study this, or I can't wait till you join the service, or whatever your child talks about. And they're going to talk about many things throughout their years. They have multiple dreams all throughout. And as the positive beacon of light in your family, King, they're now going to start believing every one of those dreams. I want to be an astronaut. You can do it. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to be there with you on the chart. And next thing you know, they start believing they can do anything because it comes from you. So it's so critical that you keep a positive light on all the things that they're doing, as well as giving them also the realistic view in life, making sure that while they are dreaming, that you as the father keep them grounded on real duties. That sounds fantastic, dear. I know you're going to be an astronaut, but right now you need to get an A on that test. Your astronaut training starts right now. So I need you to study for that test, get an A on it, as well as read 3 or 4 more books tonight. You see, those are the types of things that you're going to be pushing them, always keeping them focused on what I have to do now for the future. Guess how that happens? By you doing the same. For those of us who have children now and have been really involved in raising them, congratulations. You understand, our children watch what we do more than listen to what we say. In fact, I dare to say, when you're talking to your children, particularly in those teenage years, they don't hear anything. You might as well talk to them in Mandarin. They don't know any Mandarin because they're not listening to you. That ear turns right off, but those eyes get big. That heart, those feelings, that they're like a sponge of watching you. They're going to emulate you. So it's critical that you continue to start reaching for your dreams. You continue, King, to always talking about expanding your castle. You're always talking about, oh, I like to do this, or oh, I want to do that, or oh, we're going to do this. When they come to you, Father, what are you reading? Oh, I'm reading up on this. This is something I was always interested in. Because you're doing those types of things, sacrificing, they're going to follow your lead. Every time you see them, they're going to be doing the same thing you do. If you like to read, they're going to have a book in their hand because that's what they saw you doing. If you like to cook, they like to cook. You see, you're the father. You are the leader of that house. So they're going to be following your lead, particularly when it's positive, and they always see the results come out great in their favor. Last but not least on this front and this practice, we have to be careful, very careful, who we have our children around. A responsible parent, a responsible father is watching his children like a hawk all the way through. As they become stronger, as some of you remember that happened to us, they become the shining light in their community, around their friends. They always seem to have it together. And because they're going through life, a light of good, a light of life, here comes the dark clouds. They draw to them. And their mission, the streets, is part of that, is to bring them down. So you're the protector. Many fathers have said that for years. I'm the protector of my family. That's what I do. We need you to protect them now. You need to be around. You need to have a presence. You cannot be a responsible, loving parent and they never see you. They never hear from you. You're just a rumor, or you heard it through the grapevine, your father was doing this or that. It just can't happen. When you do that, and in your absence, that is an open door for the dark clouds. And trust me when I tell you, those dark clouds are coming in as soon as you crack the door. It's coming in of negative feelings and disbelief, not only in my father, but in life, because they feel so hurt. They feel so alone, so abandoned. I feel I have no one to protect me against the streets. And that's a dangerous, dangerous battle when you're a child. So it's critical that a father engages with his children and his presence is there. That's what he does. I'm here for you 24/7, and not just until you're 18, not until I get mad at you or we have an argument, and you're going to have arguments with your children. Trust me on that one. But I'm still here for you until the last breath in my body. I am your father. I'm going to love you unconditionally, even more with each day. I love you more today than yesterday. Y'all remember that song? It's a good song. The words are true, particularly with your children. I love you more today than yesterday. And I sure loved you yesterday. When your children hear that and feel that, then the arguments cease. And they understand, I'm going to come back to my father and he's going to fix me a plate of food. He's going to ask me if my homework was done, go take a bath. And it's just like the dark clouds are no longer there. That's the type of relationship that you need to start in your castle, King. So these are the types of leadership things that you're going to be showing as a father. It works every time. I must say, we've been doing this for years and years, as you can imagine, not only in the training and coaching of fathers and father figures and future fathers, but personally. All the things that we're talking to you now are because I did it myself. And I was on both ends of the stick. A lot of the training and good words that I'm giving you now are because I messed up with my firstborn, because I did not do the things that I'm telling you to do now. And it devastated me. I almost lost him. So understand these are just not theological type ideas. These are real practice, best practices, if you will, of responsible fatherhood. And when you put those all together, those 5 keys, we're going to say them in a few minutes before we get to the questions. You are going to have not only an extremely successful life with your children, but watch this. Soon as you start adopting that, soon as you let go of those myths and those ideas, oh, I'm the provider, and oh, I do this and that, and that's all I do. As soon as you let those go, next thing you know, some of your dreams that you had long ago are going to start coming back around because you prioritize your children's dreams. Their dreams come true first. Next thing yours come true. And the fact that I'm sitting here with you now talking about fatherhood is a true testimony. Some will know there was a time I didn't know I would be here, particularly talking about that because of the way that I thought, the way that I was doing parenting. So that's what we're doing today. The 5 keys, let's go through them one more time before we get to our questions. Ready? The first one, faith. Believe in yourself. Believe in your children at all times. Never lose faith. Sacrifice. Be ready for that. Comes right after you believe. Boom, you got to be ready to sacrifice for that. If you're not sacrificing, you check yourself. Why is this not going right? Because I'm not sacrificing. All right? Next, commitment. Are you committed to parenting? Are you committed to being the best father that you possibly could be? This is what I do 24/7. Anything after that is secondary. When I announce myself, when I talk to people, what do you do? What are you? Who are you? Oh, I'm a wonderful father. I have 3 children. That comes out of your mouth quickly because you're committed to it. And everybody will see that. That's the first thing they're going to say about you because that's the first thing that came out of your mouth. Next, patience. Ooh, somebody turning off the volume now, huh? Patience. You've got to have patience, dads. The children are going to push your buttons. Only certain people can, but nobody like your child can push those buttons. And as soon as they find out where they are, they're going to jump up and down on like they're jumping on some hay. There is no longer any buttons. You are not going to push me beyond the brink. I'm going to get upset. We might have to part for a few hours. You got to get out of my sight. I don't want to see you now. I don't want to talk to you. Move on. Go in the bedroom. Go read a book. Go outside. Go do something. However, you still are there. I have patience for you. I'll be here when you get back. All right? Last but not least, what's the last one? That's right. Unconditional love. You're going to need this one. That is the glue. You're going to need that one often because once again, those buttons are pushed and they're going to try to pull away from you, particularly when they get older in their teenage years. As I'm sure some of our guests said earlier and yesterday, those teenagers are a tough cookie, boy, a mini you, but just not wise like you. So they're just crazy in their head. So you have to show them unconditional love. You just got to give them lots of hugs and kisses. Dispel that myth that fathers are not affectionate. Fathers don't cry. Fathers don't show any love. They're not nurturers. I don't know who they're talking about, but all the fathers I know, they'll start crying in a minute. You know when? When their child graduates from school or graduates from anything, gets an award. They'll start crying a minute at their daughter's wedding. They'll start crying a minute when their son comes home from the service or their son's done fantastic things, been traveling, and they see their son, a stout young man looking just like him. You'll see tears rolling down their face. But I can tell those who say that men don't cry. You watch a sporting event, you watch the big football game, and the father's team wins. Tears everywhere. The whole team is crying. You saw that before. So that dispels that myth that men don't cry. As well as men love to give hugs. Hug your children. Kiss them 1,000 times because those kisses, each one of them, brings power. That is what unconditional love is about. That's how you show unconditional love, more than just saying it. So my friends, that's it for today's practice. Now we're going to go into some questions. I see that many of you have some issues or some things you want to talk about. I look forward to answering our questions. But I want to leave you with this before we get into that. Remember this, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. Fatherhood is deeds, not words. You can't talk your way into fatherhood. You can't talk about how much you love them. You can't talk about how important they are in your life. It's about you showing them. Deeds, not words. God bless you all. I look forward to your questions. And thank you, Tip, once again for this wonderful opportunity to share the secret, if you will.
Thank you so much Coach
You're
Lynn,
welcome.
we are so excited. Thank you so much. We do not take you for granted. We
Thank you.
appreciate all the things that you have taught us, the 5 keys to fatherhood: faith, sacrifice, commitment, patience, and unconditional love, and all the
Amen.
cornerstone. And we love the part that you said fatherhood is deeds and not just words.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Before we take the questions, we would like
Mhm.
to, before we take the questions, we'll try and collate the questions and get back to
Sure.
you.
Okay.
Before then, we would listen to testimonials from persons who attended the conference before. So we'll get back to you on the questions.
I'm ready.
All right.
Hi, my name is Ame Ajayi, and part of the Inner Circle. I joined the Inner Circle this year, 2021. 2020 was a very challenging year for me, and I spent a lot of time with my kids because of the lockdown and COVID-19 realities, and it got me thinking that I just didn't want to keep screaming, keep shouting and talking and repeating the same thing over and over again. So I decided, well, I'll just join the Inner Circle. Maybe some of these challenges, I'll get information on how to go through them. The Inner Circle has been a blessing to me personally. The Inner Circle is a place where you find people that hold your hand through the very daunting task of parenting, because trust me, parenting is hard. It's hard work. It's a lot of work, and sometimes you feel like you just want to give up, but you have people, accountability partners, as I would like to call them. I appreciate this Inner Circle a lot because I have understood through this process that parenting is a process. It's not just a destination, it is a process. And intentional parenting is a journey. I'm taking it one step at a time. I'm seeing a lot of improvement personally as an individual and even in the lives of my kids and even my husband. As an individual, I have served in the teens church in my church for some years, and I've been, worried about the realities of immorality around my locality, and I had wanted to do something about it before now, but I lacked resources in terms of the knowledge. But the Inner Circle has exposed me to a lot of things, has given me insight, and with that, I'm planning already. And in August, we're launching a program to see how we can help teens within our locality walk the right path. Trust me, being in the Inner Circle has been a huge blessing, and I want to appreciate Wendy for this very, very impactful program. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that was a testimonial from persons who have attended the Inner Circle. So if you wish to be in the Inner Circle, you can see the details on the screen so that you can register. We're still waiting for some questions, but we have one for you right now, Coach Lynn.
Okay.
The first one says, how do you get a father who is emotionally unavailable to be involved with his children? Haven't tried everything.
Well, that's tough. I understand that. In some ways, that's where the fatherhood initiatives come into play. We are now evolving in Nigeria and really throughout Africa because it's critical for fathers to talk to other fathers. In that scenario, we found it helps because when he is in denial and you are not the messenger, that's for sure. But when fathers see other fathers doing the right thing, when fathers see other ones sacrificing on all the keys, we tend to follow that. We emulate those things that we admire and we see. So it's probably critical for you to somehow or another get some messages to him of, hey, here's a program for you, in a real subtle way, of course. However you can do it, start getting some information to him so he can see other fathers doing it and he won't feel so alienated. As well as it's probably best that you look at his background, particularly his father, his father's father. He might be just following the only thing that he saw. His father was emotionally detached to him, so he really doesn't know how. You see, it's not that he might not want to, but he's only following what he saw. So that's why the fatherhood programs are so critical, and we're looking to get it there as soon as possible, or support the fatherhood programs that are already there, because we actually do that legwork when there is no clear messenger, or the message or the communication between the mother and the father are just not good at this time. And keep going, keep trying. Soon the kids will get older. Pretty soon the children, they will take up that lead, and they'll be writing him a letter, and if you will, even though he's been doing that, fumbling the ball, and I'm sure you already are, if you can, try to keep a positive view of him in your children's minds. Don't belittle him, and they probably shouldn't be involved in those grown-up type issues anyway, because it hurts them more. You think that you're telling them the truth, and you are telling them the truth, but they're not ready to handle the truth yet. Their minds aren't ready. They don't understand. All they know is their inside hurt and their inside loss. And like, he's denying me. He's your husband. You had a baby by him, not me. I'm his daughter. I'm his son. Why is he leaving me? You see? So by you talking bad about him or putting him down, that's only going to make them more confused. It's not going to make them not like him, because they love their father anyway. Trust me on that one. Deep down inside, they love and need their father, and I'm sure you already know that. So hold on tight. Have faith. Have faith.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that answer. Now, another question we have is, my husband always comes back from shopping, from the barber's shop with my son, complaining how our toddler always embarrasses him out there by crying and misbehaving. Please, how can he deal with this?
He's saying that his son, when he takes him to the barber shop, he's acting up. He's acting up a little bit.
Yes, he's acting up. He's embarrassing him. He's misbehaving. So he wants to know how to deal with this.
Pray. No, listen. That's just being a child. I don't know how old this son is. If he's a little child,
Is it toddler?
That's just, yeah, that's normal, especially going to the barber shop. However, that will pass. What we found is the more time he spends with his father, they got to do more than just that. I'm not sure if that's one of the only things he does, but they got to spend a lot of time together, Two peas in a pod, if you will, because then the toddler will now start feeling confident that, I feel nervous. I don't know what's going on here, but I see my father over there, so I know I'm good. And as he gets older, he'll start to that'll go away. But that's just pretty normal. That's pretty normal. Tell the father to have patience, and definitely don't go off on him for being a toddler. That's what they do. All right.
Okay.
That's hilarious, though.
So we have another question.
All right.
It says, please, what can be done when a father doesn't really have patience and wants to parent from a place of punishment always?
Well, we got to talk to him. He's emulating probably what he saw. He's only parenting the best way that he saw and what he went through as a child. So parenting classes are just so critical. I know a lot of men, and fathers in particular, don't like to go to parenting classes, or any type of class for that matter, but that one in particular. But you got to still work with them. You have to tell them, listen, you got to have patience with them. The punishment without education, why are you punishing him? As well as, why don't you show him what to do? You can't just yell at them and tell them, oh, I don't want you to do that, but you didn't show me how to do it. You see? Once you continue showing them, listen, this is the proper way to do it. This is how you conduct yourself. This is how you do these things prior to, during, and after the act. Next thing you know, they'll start following your lead. Our children are like a sponge, especially from their father and mother. So you do things in a certain way, you conduct yourself in a certain way, you speak in a certain way, they will sooner or later come around that way. All righty? But just continue at it. Practice. Remember, we said practice makes perfect. Yes, everybody knows that. Exactly. Yes. Same thing here. Keep practicing the right way. It will come. It will come.
All right. So we should show the children and not just back orders at them. So we have another question. How does a mother navigate her way around when the father is physically not available because of his job, and then when he's around, there is no commitment, no bond, and he's not ready to change?
Well, she has to understand soon the children will help you with that, if they're not now. Soon the children are going to start asking him, Father, would you come with me here? Father, would you help me with that? And hopefully that will start pushing his buttons of, I need to step up to the plate, if you will. I need to be a responsible father for my children, and I have to be there more than just speaking to them or passing them in the hallway. My job comes and goes. My job is not my priority. And I understand that she has some difficulties. Once again, she might not be the messenger. And it just getting him involved in other fatherhood programs, him seeing other fathers actually doing that goes a long way. We've seen it happen for many years where fathers just like that, just like him, because they got involved in the fatherhood initiatives and the fatherhood programs, next thing you know, they start changing because we all do it together. Sad to say, but I have to say this. Oftentimes, we have to take the mother out of the equation when we're talking with the fathers because we want him to be self-sufficient. We teach the fathers, I want you to conduct yourself as if the mother was not there. God forbid something was to happen to her. You have to do all things. So we get them now in that frame of mind and that type of action. That's your responsibility. You ask them, is their homework done? How was your day? Did you eat today? What did you eat? Who did you talk to? What did you talk about? Nosy Rosie. We let fathers become that nosy parent, as well as she might have to let him start becoming the bad cop. All of us understand that scenario, the good cop, the bad cop. Oftentimes mothers have to play both. Very difficult. So maybe she'll let him start being the bad cop. You let him, ask your father, so I want to do this. Ask your father. Let him start doing things on his own. Don't enable him.
Okay.
Push the responsibilities on him.
Okay,
He either steps up to the plate or he gets out.
To contribute.
Exactly.
All right.
Could be done.
Interesting. All right. We still have the questions coming in.
That's beautiful.
All right. So one says, my husband works in another city, and each time he comes, he tries to indulge them and buys all that they ask for, and allows them to get away with a lot of wrong without discipline.
Yes.
How do I go about it?
She got to put the spotlight on him now. First of all, of course, the conversation with him. Hopefully he'll listen. But as well as the children too, more than likely she's probably going to have to talk to the children and say, listen, when your father's here, don't do him like that. That's his weak spot. Once again, clearly that's what he was shown, or in his mind, that's how he shows love, through things.
Okay.
And we would implore him, and hopefully she'll tell him, Coach Lynn said it, things mean nothing. Your children don't want those things. Their children want their father. Their children want their father to talk to them and tell them no. No, you can't go. Clean up this room. Go do this. We're going to go here. Today we're going to go do this. You can't go do that because I want to have time with you. They really want that. They don't want another pair of
set boundaries.
Exactly. And absolutely positively, things definitely don't buy love or affection. In fact, it kind of spoils the child. Right. So when hard times come, they don't have any of the other keys. All they know is you give them stuff, but they don't know you have faith. You never showed them any faith. You never showed them any commitment. Never showed them any of that other stuff. So when the storms of life hit them, they won't know how to adapt. They'll think they could buy their way out of it, just as they were taught. So I tell them, listen, no more things here. When you come here, please don't buy them unless you buy them some socks, because they need some new socks, need some clothes for school, or a book. Get them a book. How about that? And that way it'll start turning in her favor.
All right. One more question. It says, how can I make my spouse partake in conferences such as this and other fathers' conference? Because he's usually not interested when I tell him about such conferences.
Well, we do some innovative things. Fathers, and I agree, if we only had chats or meetings where we just talk about things, we would have two fathers there, trust me.
Yeah.
But we do innovate, we do events, we do the daddy-daughter dance, the father-son survival camp, a lot of engagement things. Fathers like to be active. We don't talk too much, but we like to do things, get busy. So that will draw him. Hey, we're gonna take the kids on a safari, or we're gonna take the kids to go see a waterfall, or we're gonna take them to this, or we're gonna have a picnic with just fathers and the kids. We love you, moms. We love you so much, but we just need the fathers and their children there, because we talk to them in a certain language that they only understand. Speaking your language, but we're a good messenger. You see? So those types of events have to be part of any fatherhood engagement. A lot of activity, which is what fathers should be doing anyway. You should be staying busy with your dreams, as well as making sure your kids are constantly moving forward on their dreams. What are you doing now? Where are you going? What have you studied? What are you participating in? And nothing better than him doing the same thing. So we get him in that mode of activities. Get busy.
Get busy. Thank you so much, Coach Lynn.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We appreciate everything that you've said. We've gotten so much value from everything that you've said, and I have not seen any more questions. I'm sure you've been able to answer all our questions. Thank you so much. We appreciate the fact that you brought out time to talk to us all the way from the Caribbean, right?
Right. Yeah, we're in the Dominican Republic right now. We're a Fatherhood Initiative. We're doing the Fatherhood Initiative here in Dominican Republic.
Okay, interesting. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, and God bless everyone. Have a great, great day. Deeds.
Thank you so much, Coach Lynn. Thank you. We really appreciate you. To say that Coach Lynn just got off the plane this morning and he's live here. In fact, he just got into where he is right now. He's been on the plane all night, and yet he was able to still show up here. What more sacrifice can be more than that? Coach Lynn, we don't take this for granted. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome. And the honor was all mine. God bless everyone. Hold on tight. Good times are coming.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody. And Jube is the founder of Better Dads Initiative. You've been wondering who is my co-moderator. Yes, Mr. Jube, and he does, stuff around fatherhood as well. That's why he's here in the studio. I want to say thank you to you, Coach Jube. Please remember to follow him, Better Dads, on Instagram. You will find him, on Instagram. He does so much, around fatherhood. We're talking fatherhood today, so why not? If not, you can also remember to follow Coach Lynn. Coach Lynn is also on Facebook as Stevan Lynn, right? Stevan Lynn. Coach Lynn is okay, he's gone. He needed to just run off. Coach Lynn is one of my foreign dads. Coach Lynn is just amazing, right? Yes, you want to follow Coach Lynn and see all the work that he does around fatherhood. Is just so awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Remember that we are back here. Today's session is not all over. Yes, we are back here again at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. talking why teenagers rebel and how to deal with it. Do you have a teenager? Be back here at 4 p.m. We're also going to be speaking how to parent children who turn out to be purposeful teenagers. And we're having the amazing Fina Chichi at 6:30 p.m. And then we'll have the last session, Uncle Obe. I am very excited about these sessions. Uncle Obe is also going to be talking about how to raise a 21st century compliant child. You do not want to miss any of these sessions. I can assure you that if you have seen anything at all, what you have seen is just a tip of the iceberg. We return here at exactly 4 p.m. and we will be live with Tony Ogunkami. Tony Ogunkami is the founder of Smart Parenting. You want to be here. Amazing. All right, again, remember that these sessions didn't come to you at no cost. No, nothing is free anywhere in the world. Someone is paying a price for you to be here. I just told you that Coach Lynn flew into the Caribbean from the US, got in there this morning, was on flight all night, and yet he was here. it took something for us to be able to create those kind of system to have people to actually be here do this with us. It took us a lot to be able to have people like Coach Jube to be here moderating for us. It has taken so much. It is time. It's not free. So please, I would want you as a give back to these coaches that you go and follow their handles. Rave over the TIP conference so that the work we're doing is also not just, just going away, right? We're doing so much and we want you to keep publicizing to people. Tell someone to tell someone about the TIP annual conference. The evenings are going to be hot. Hot, I can assure you about that one. All right, pretty hot. And if you've been following us, been asking how you can join the inner circle, please look at the details on the screen. Thank you again till we meet at 4 p.m. Thank you, Coach Jube. Thank you so much for all you do for TIP. We appreciate you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
Our names are Engineer and Mrs. Smart Peter Sevreke. Our journey so far in Inner Circle. It all started last year, 2020, by second half of the year, when my wife introduced me to the group. Inner Circle is the arm of the Intentional Parent Academy, founded by Coach Wendy Ologe. Here, parents are gathered to learn parenting styles and skills through daily connection tools. Views on parenting are shared by other parents as well. Books on parenting read and reviewed on monthly basis. Inner Circle has taught us that parenting is about us, the parents, and not the children. We've learned new parenting trend and unlearn what we used to know as parenting pattern, which is not working for the Gen Zs and the Gen Alphas. So I am urging you, and I mean you that is watching now, to come. Let's join hands together for the good of our children and society at large. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ame Ajayi, and I'm part of the Inner Circle. I joined the Inner Circle this year, 2021. 2020 was a very challenging year for me, and I spent a lot of time with my kids because of the lockdown and COVID-19 realities, and it got me thinking that I just didn't want to keep screaming, keep shouting and talking and repeating the same thing over and over again. So I decided, well, I'll just join the Inner Circle. Maybe some of these challenges, I'll get information on how to go through them. The Inner Circle has been a blessing to me personally. The Inner Circle is a place where you find people that hold your hand through the very daunting task of parenting, because trust me, parenting is hard. It's hard work. It's a lot of work, and sometimes you feel like you just want to give up, but you have people, accountability partners, as I would like to call them. I appreciate this Inner Circle a lot because I have understood through this process that parenting is a process. It's not just a destination, it is a process. And intentional parenting is a journey. I'm taking it one step at a time. I've seen a lot of improvement personally as an individual, and even in the lives of my kids and even my husband. As an individual, I have served in the teens church in my church for some years, and I've been, worried about the realities of immorality around my locality, and I had wanted to do something about it before now, but I lacked resources in terms of the knowledge. But the Inner Circle has exposed me to a lot of things, has given me insight, and with that I'm planning already. And in August we're launching a program to see how we can help teens within our locality walk the right path. Trust me, being in the Inner Circle has been a huge blessing, and I want to appreciate Wendy for this very, very impactful program. God bless you. Thank you.